Yo, people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another episode of All You Can Eat Chelsea. And I must say, it's been a busy day. It is my birthday, but big up the chat. It is, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I celebrate birthdays anymore because I'm 25 now and that's not really anything to clap.
25? Oh, bro. Relax. Have a day off, bro.
Wait till this guy hits 35. I'm 36. You might as well just give up in life by then.
Mate, I'm turning 30. No, trust me, 25, great age. 26, 27, beautiful. 28, where you start to get worried.
Keep saying this until they get to 100.
Yeah, do you know what a great age that I felt was when you hit 30? That's when you felt like your prime days, man. That's prime.
Yeah. Really?
You feel like, when I hit 30, I was like, I'm ready now to take on the world. But as soon as I was 35, and then I started realizing, oh my God, I'm closer to 40 now.
Yeah.
It's a quick plummet.
I hear that. After I turned 23, I was like, okay, this is getting long now.
Come on, bro.
Tons. You got tons left to do.
More couldn't be happening at the age of 25, I must say. I've got COVID. I've got some weird infection or some sort of issue with my mouth. And then also the small matter of the protest that we are now organizing outside Stamford Gate at 12 o'clock on Saturday, just before the Brentford game. Again, really have no choice at this point. We all saw the statement from We Are the Shed that came out last night. We were waiting on that statement, and I was waiting on that statement because they did say to me privately that they were gonna give me an update as to what they were doing, because I was hoping to align the time, the location, and everything with them after my tweet went up yesterday afternoon. It was also promised that they would do a protest if the Ricketts made the shortlist. But unfortunately, they didn't keep that promise, and they decided that they were going to go with a different route of bringing in banners into the stadium. Now, it's a decent option, I guess. For me, the big issues with that is that not everybody can go to the game, for one. Two, it's not coverage in the UK. It's a 3 p.m. kickoff, so it's a lot less eyes on it. And C, it heavily relies upon the Ricketts family actually watching the game. And I'm not personally willing to chance the future of the football club for the rest of my lifetime based upon the hope that the Ricketts are watching Chelsea versus Brentford, on whichever channel it's on in America. So personally, if you're as annoyed with the fact that they're on the shortlist as the rest of us are, then and you can make that protest, then you need to be at that protest. If you're not, like I said, it's going to be very easy then to make it very clear and to not only the Ricketts but also to the higher ups at Chelsea that people aren't really serious on this issue. They don't really care as much as they say they do online. And therefore, they'll probably end up taking over because it's pretty clear that there's a lot of reasons as to why they probably will end up being owner of the Chelsea Football Club, based upon, the Rain Group, based upon Bruce Buck, based upon many factors. So this is kind of the last chance for this hashtag and this movement. And I'm not afraid of it failing because I can say, listen, we tried. I can go to sleep at night knowing that we tried as content creators, even though it's not our real responsibility to organize this, and Twitter and Instagram accounts and whatnot. But like I said, you got to turn up. If you don't turn up, then please don't complain on this channel for years to come. Oh my God, we've got to get the owners out like Arsenal do with the Cronkies and like Man United do with the Glazers. It's just gonna fall on deaf ears to me because when it mattered, people didn't want to show up. But we'll get into all of that later on in the show. Miz, bro, how are you doing? Talk to me.
Yeah, man, it's been very crazy times. And first of all, Matisse, happy birthday, my man.
Thank you, bro.
Hopefully you have a fantastic day. I know you're recovering from testing positive, so hopefully you do that very soon and you have a fantastic birthday. Yeah, man. Now, well said about everything over there. At least, I'm not surprised that the Ricketts have scammed their way into this whole situation, because I've been saying it for the past couple of weeks since this whole saga started, that it's been predetermined. Like, they were the winners, always were the winners. And they just got into a bit of mess with this whole situation about us obviously turning against them with all the information that we found on them. And now they're doing their level best to get over that hurdle. And basically try and win it with somewhat legitimacy, right? But honestly, Matisse, what you're doing is fantastic. Even if we don't get this over the line, at least, as you said, we can rest peacefully that we've done everything possible from our end, and that we can the rest is really up to the Lord up above, and we'll see what happens. So look, Ben, I can't wait. Obviously it's Saturday, and before the match, let's see how many numbers you guys get there. I'm sure we'll see a lot of videos popping up in social media. Make a loud noise. That's all I say, man. Make a huge noise. And obviously we'll be doing the watch alongs and whatnot earlier, try and capturing that as well, so that people in social media can get a bigger view of it as well.
Yeah. We shall see. Younes, how you doing? Big up, bro. It's another show, another day, another dollar. It's long.
It is, isn't it? It is. The life of a Chelsea fan is outrageous, man. Nothing can compete. Nothing can compare. But yeah, first and foremost, happy birthday to you, man. It's funny, you shared a birthday with my mum, so I've got two going on here. This is great. So
happy birthday to Younes' mum as well. Shout out to Younes' mum.
But yeah, man, happy birthday, bro. I hope you're feeling well, and by Saturday you should be back at 100%. So that will be good. That will be perfect. Yeah, it's a tough time at the moment. It's mad. Obviously, Miz has outlined it perfectly with what's going on. We now see that the whole thing is just not genuine. The one thing we want is for this process to be genuine. And now, even though the signs were there, we've pretty much got confirmation of it now. So I'm glad protest is happening before the game. Probably perfect time with the media there, with obviously people going to the game. Attention is rocking at the bridge. It'd be the perfect occasion. So I'm looking forward to it. And as you said, look, if we succeed in this and it ends up making some sort of a difference, great. If we don't, down the line, we can't, we can rest assured, as you guys have said, we can rest assured that if it comes to a point where all of a sudden Chelsea fans are going, oh no, we need to get these guys out, they don't know what they're doing, we'll be like, hey, we told you so. Right now, the signs are pointing in that direction. We look at exactly what the Ricketts are looking to bring compared to everyone else, and we can just be like, yo, we don't need this. There's too much issue with this. Some people acting like Chelsea Football Club are Leyton Orient, where we've got one potential bidder, and it's like, no, we got to take this opportunity. We can't say no. But we are Chelsea. We have a queue of people that will happily buy this football club. If it's not the Ricketts, trust me, there's someone else waiting to buy this club. And right now, in terms of the bidders on the table, there are better options. Why risk? And yeah, right now we know that there seems to be some sort of affiliation going on, whether it's between Bruce Buck or the Rain Group or them, the Ricketts. Yeah, that can't fly. That can't fly. So hopefully Saturday is a success.
Yeah, no, 100%. And like I said, we're up against it. Literally every higher power that's at the club seems to be pushing in one direction for this to potentially happen. And like I said, their track record, even from a sporting perspective, which isn't on the banner. Because I didn't really feel like the government, the Premier League, anybody for that matter would really care about those points. We can already see how they've treated Chelsea fans over ticketing issues over the last month. And it's clearly not a high priority of theirs for Chelsea to be successful. So that's obviously something that Chelsea fans would obviously want. But for Chelsea Football Club, from a bigger picture in the grand scheme of things, it's not people's priority for us to be successful. So those sporting reasons are obviously just for the fans, not really for the overall message to media. They're not going to feel sorry for us when they cover it from sporting perspective and things like that. It's really all of the social and human points that really no one can really argue with. And yeah, you just have to hope really that it makes the difference, and that people actually put their money where their mouth is and come outside. Because like I said, if it does go through, they've got a track record with the Cubs. We kind of know what they're about in terms of taking money out of the club. They're looking to make a profit. They're looking to expand their portfolio. They're looking to sell in maybe, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years at a profit. And whilst doing so, don't expect mad amounts of investment. Don't expect ambition. Don't expect any sort of competitiveness at the top of, you know, European or domestic football, just expect, you know, Chelsea to just operate in a very flat line and maybe a little decline as well, probably. And I don't think that's what anybody wants to see.
Remember who they're being backed by. Like, this isn't just the Ricketts, it's Ken Griffin as well. And that's a big, I mean, one of the biggest hedge fund managers in the United States, potentially the world. You know, his company has pretty much one of, if not the most influence on the American market. And there are skeletons there. It's a lot of baggage. It's a lot of baggage, man. Too much baggage. Not just with the Ricketts, but you could even say Ken Griffin. It's just no.
Yeah, no, 100%. And I mean, a lot of people are saying, and like I said, it's like, do you do it before Brentford? Some people are saying maybe don't do it before the game because it will disturb the players. At the end of the day, the most likelihood of getting people there is before a game. That's when the Super League protest was done. You do it on a Sunday, and I can guarantee you that you're not getting it near the same amount of numbers as you would before a game because people are simply just not going to come outside for the second time. You don't have the media coverage as well because they're covering other matches on a Sunday. And a whole host of other reasons. So that's why the time was gone with there. The date was then, and I feel like it's accessible. It's easy for people that are already going, and it's a calm time for everybody to get to. It's not too early. It's not too late. Gives you time to build up momentum, and it's all been laid out for you. You know, as the people that can attend, that live in England, live in London. So hopefully, like I said, you know, you make your voices heard, because if you don't, the probability of them taking over is just increasing by the day, which is why we're doing this in the first place. You know, if it wasn't and they weren't on the shortlist, then this wouldn't be happening. But the fact that they're on the shortlist, despite all of these issues, tells you all you need to know. But I want to flag up some of these issues as well on the banner. So I'm going to quickly remove all of us for a second while you can read out these issues, people. And it's right here in front of you. So there you are. There you go. And obviously pause the screen if you didn't get to read it quickly enough. Obviously, that's just an opportunity for you to pause it and to read it. The reason why I'm not reading out to you is because for me, it's very important that you read it yourself. It's very important that you read that information, you digest it, you understand it, and it goes through your brain that way. I think if I read it, some of you may switch off, some of you may, you know, not really be listening. Read it yourself. When you read it, I think it will come across a lot stronger than if someone's reading it to you, and you'll start to understand those points a lot more. And like I said, there are a lot more points. There are a lot more points that I couldn't get on that list for two reasons. One, because I know putting too many words on a page will tire people and they won't read it as much as if I put just a few bullet points. Two, like I said, for sporting reasons, the government won't care. The Premier League won't really care about that either. In the grand scheme, a lot of people don't really like Chelsea. So, you know, sporting reasons as to why our club will decline is not really going to convince anybody to kick them off this shortlist. And obviously, I'm not going to go into all of the politics as well, because that's going to divide a lot more people than it needs to. And I don't want to make it look like it's personal when it's really just about, you know, for me, fit and proper test for Chelsea Football Club stewardship. So there are, you know, a whole host of reasons added onto this as to why you may not want these guys to be in charge, or why you won't end up liking them if they are in charge. So you can Google that all for yourself. You can, like I said, the sources are all there, and you can do your homework on that. But Miz, moving on from all of this, how are you feeling about just Chelsea in general being back now? We're now in international break is done. International break for me, you know, I always tune out. I'm not really a massive fan of it. There were some very entertaining games, World Cup qualifiers going on, obviously playoffs and whatnot, just to get into the competition. But now Chelsea are back for Brentford. We have been winning every single game since this statement of Abramovich came out, and we were literally, you know, now the club is under the cosh where we're under a lot of pressure. Everybody's got their eyes on us, and we've actually been getting by. Performance aside, because obviously performance doesn't really matter in a time like this, we're still going through it, aren't we? Despite the break, despite, maybe being rejuvenated, coming back or whatever, we're still going through this process of ownership. So still distractions. I'm sure there'll be definitely, you'd hope there'll be distractions on Saturday. That's the whole point, in terms of just, making our point. But how do you feel going into Brentford? Is this just another game we just got to tick off the list and get the job done?
Oh man, for me, this is important now. Like this is the final stage, right? So April, May, we're now on the final run. Lots of things to play for. We still need to make sure that we lock in the top four, that it's not a bit of a race between whoever else is just below us, whether it's Arsenal, whether it's Man United. I think Arsenal fans that are getting a bit cocky out there thinking, we can go leapfrog Chelsea, So we need to shut them up very quick. And Champions League game coming around the corner as well against Real Madrid. FA Cup, possibly another final under Thomas Tuchel. So players, I must admit, I'm so proud of our players. I'm so surprised as well that they've won every single match pretty much. The Liverpool one in the Carabao Cup, you can't really say it as 90 minutes, it was a draw. If anything, we should have won that in 90 minutes. It was only because it went into extra time and then in the penalties. And that too, after 10 penalties being taken, it was missed by Kepa. So I'm very surprised how well our football club, our team has reacted to all of this stuff. Like, you don't understand the magnitude of things that have happened. First, it was Roman, the Ukraine war, Roman under scrutiny, then Roman getting sanctioned, then Roman trying to pass it on to Chelsea Trust Foundation. They don't want to take it. After that, the UK government coming in and doing their madness. Then we have the whole big sanction. And now this whole process where it's all a scam, it's all a bit of a corrupted situation. These players are coming out and they're actually winning games. And they've actually come out and said that it's galvanized the team. It's got the team. The team was already close enough. I think Hakim Ziyech, in his recent interview in Chelsea YouTube channel, said that people don't get to see this. We were already close group. And now you get to see it in Instagram where Ziyech, I think, is with Lukaku and a few of the other lads in United States. And you can tell they're a very close group. But Hakim was saying, we're even closer now. Like, you don't understand how badly we want to fight. And I've been saying this, when an animal is wounded, that's when it's the most dangerous. Do you know what I mean? So, look, I hope coming up this Saturday, as you said, Matisse, we want to make a lot of noise. 100%, that's the whole idea of it. But I just hope that the players can concentrate out there and go out there and get the 3 points, because it is important for the bigger scheme of things. So, look, the last thing we all want is all of this drama and losing games as well. I think that will then create a whole heap of mess that we don't want. You'll start seeing Thomas Tuchel being very upset in press conferences, and then you'll start hearing all these rumors about how all these pundits want Thomas Tuchel to go to Man United. All of that is going to surface up even more. So I just hope we keep winning, because that is sort of like the antidote to what's happening in and around the club. So, yeah, man, it's important, very, very important. But at the same time, everything that's going outside of the club is also significantly important. I believe 11th April is the cutoff day to know which. Yeah. I mean, let's be honest, it's the Ricketts. We all know. It's like oh, we'll get to know that Top Bowley wins it on the 11th of April. We know the winner is. Let's hope that some madness happens. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Younes, how's your feelings going into the game? Because it's a weird one, isn't it? I mean, it's a lot of the games recently have been so odd because there's so much going on outside of the pitch that it's very hard to even focus on the game. I remember the Luton game, because that was the first game we had to play, I think, after the statement dropped, and I just didn't even really tune in. I wasn't even tuned in. I was doing the watch along.
Yeah.
I wasn't really watching. That we conceded, but I didn't really care. We scored, but I didn't really care. It was just kind of just going through the motions. I know there's a lot of people that didn't even watch that game. There's a lot of people that didn't even really watch. The statement dropped and they just couldn't even watch the game afterwards. They were just so like shocked and so like almost taken aback by what was going on from a grand scheme of things. They couldn't even really watch such a in the grand scheme of things a very like minuscule moment, which is just a FA Cup tie. But how do you feel about this game? Because obviously it's a Premier League game, we need to win it. But at the same time, it's like all of this confusion around our future, it's difficult to know what this really means.
Yeah, big time. And that's, like I'm going into tomorrow's game honestly thinking realistically we should be getting 3 points. It's not the biggest game in the world. We've got a nice gap away from fifth. I think it's 8 points with a game in hand, so we should be okay. But that's where half of my attention is on what's going on. And, especially with the protest right before the game, I think most of the focus will be on that. So, yeah, right now, look, there's a bigger story to think about. And I know it's weird because, Premier League, we're looking to make sure we nail top 4. Right now, we're in a very good position. If we weren't in a good position, I think I'd be definitely having more attention on the game. But because it looks like we've got things okay and it's going all right, and before the international break, we were playing well or getting results and we were doing what we had to do. I expect that to continue, and if not, actually get further forward and increase more, because now it's starting to get really important, in terms of the league, the FA Cup, the Champions League, which is going to be happening next week. So that's going to be crazy. Overall, though, yeah, my attention's on what's happening on Saturday and beyond that, because that's the future of the club. That's the next potential 30, 40 years. Where is the club being steered in? That's the most important thing. We've had 19 years under Roman and we didn't think it'd end like this. Realistically, with a new owner, who knows? It could be over in 5. It could be over in 50. We don't know. So it's important to make sure we get the right people in. And that, in the grand scheme of things, is definitely more important than one fixture and 3 points. So, yeah. Saturday, I'm confident we'll win, if I'm honest. Tuchel has done a great job in being able to get the team to separate themselves from everything. And they seem to have a lot of experience in that now. We've had a lot of scandal this season, and the team have managed to get their job done on the pitch, and they've managed to turn away and just focus. And that's really, really nice, because this isn't going to end just tomorrow. I don't think it will. So as long as the players can separate themselves, Tuchel can separate himself, focus on the result, focus on the performance, get that, keep doing what they're doing, fantastic. And then the rest, we'll see how it all goes down.
Yeah. I want to talk about this ownership that you've just mentioned, Younes, about years and years, 20, 30 years we're looking at. And it may not be the Ricketts, but it's about designing the future.
Yeah.
And I want to just quickly talk about this because it's so important, right? Winning ensures new fans come in, the new generation comes in. Like, for us, maybe, yes, winning is very important for us, but we're not going to be just changing to a different team tomorrow just because Chelsea doesn't win. But I'm talking about my kids, your future kids, or the future generation that's going to come up. Those kids will only support a club from the get-go that they see that they're winning. Do you know what I mean? Like, I would love to see a statistics over the last, say, 5-6 years where Man City has been cleaning up, how much fan support they've picked up as opposed to, let's say, someone like a Man United who's not won a single thing over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And you continue that trend, say Man United goes further 5 more years without anything, no silverware. Do you think they're at a level where they call themselves one of the biggest clubs in the world? For sure they are. But they cannot continue for 10 years of no silverware, let's just say, and still be in that position. And if Man City continues on the opposite direction where they're just picking up, their name globally is going to get bigger and bigger. They're going to get more fans. to come and follow them. I'm not talking about fans converting. I'm talking about new fans. Do you know what I mean? Kids that are getting born now, they'll start following Man City. And eventually enough, what Younes is saying, which is so damn deep, the club will disintegrate and disappear. And if Chelsea falls into that trap where we get a particular owner where maybe we don't win anything next season, right? But then it trickles into the season after and season after. Before you know, it's 5 seasons. Didn't we already go 5 seasons without the Premier League? I think last time we won was with Conte. So 2017, right? 2016, 17. So it's already been 5 years that we've not even come close to competing in the Premier League. If this continues on, and then you start losing people like Thomas Tuchel going to rival clubs.
Yeah.
This is deep, and people don't think about it like that. And then 10 years down the track, they'll be like, what happened to Chelsea Football Club?
Yeah.
What happened? I'll tell you what happened. You weren't boisterous enough when Roman got sanctioned. That's what happened. You weren't there when we needed you. It's deep, man. You got to...
There's a lot of people that wait until the damage is done for them to act and react, actually. And that's the wrong way. The damage is done. It's done. You can't change it. It's finished. You know? But if you can see it coming, or you can see a threat, you act there to prevent it. Even if people go, oh, no, you didn't have to do that. You're crazy. Well, it didn't happen. Thank God for that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point.
Precaution.
Precaution.
Do you know what I mean? Precaution.
Yeah.
It's far more important than sometimes the solution itself. So, you know, look at, I don't know if you guys recently saw, there's a Todd Bowley article that's just dropped from Simon Johnson outlining exactly what tell me one short list, like the bidders that have been shortlisted, tell me one group that's actually outlaid their plans openly as to what they want to do with Chelsea Football Club.
Yeah.
Straight to the point as well. Not no
Straight
gibberish.
to the point.
Straight to the point.
Nick Candy and the Catalina consortium, they were literally just pure PR. Not a single point was raised as to what they plan on doing. Not any sort of, you know, structure or idea or ideology for what they plan on doing in terms of long-term goals, in terms of transfers, in terms of building, you know, the foundations. It just, everything was just, Lampard scored in 07 against Stoke.
That's it. You know, we're proper
Chelsea.
What a goal!
Passion.
What a goal! And Tottenham, by the way, they're shit. They're absolutely shit. 100%. Completely agree. It's like, how stupid do you think we are? Like, where's the points, mate? Where's the points, bro? Why is everything so watered down, so emotive, so heavily based upon like emotion? Where is the actual points that you're gonna make here? And that's why, I mean, thankfully they didn't make the shortlist, you know, but they also didn't have.
If they made it, have you guys seen Sunderland Till I Die?
Yeah. Oh my God.
It'd be like that. It would be like that. It would be pure vibes. Chelsea Till I Die.
Nah, but do you know what? Just going back to the Ricketts situation, let's just say, for argument's sake, do you know what? In a mad multiverse, because we're living in that multiverse scenario right now, right? Everything is multiverse, right? If we lived in that multiverse scenario, let's forget about all the stuff the Ricketts have been saying in terms of, you know, racism and LGBT and, you know, all the other stuff that, you know, Matisse just outlined. Take that aside. Park it for a moment. From a sporting point of view as well, these guys are not the right people from that perspective. You look at Todd Bowley, the way he talks about what he wants to do. It's an environment. He wants to create an environment in the stadium. It's a lifestyle. He talks about, it's all about the fans. Transfer market. Not only you think about the team, yes, but you also want to see what do the fans want. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's data driven. He's talking about, it's not about spending the most money. It's about spending smart money. Like it's all
what we've been screaming for.
Exactly. It's all proper talk from a particular individual that you know has great background in running sporting ventures. Do you know what I mean? And have a look at any of his YouTube videos. It's not like he's fluffing it. It's not like he's making things up. He's a very, very well thought out person in this industry. Similarly, have a look at Mr. Tom Ricketts, and you'll straight away pick up in his tone, in his voice, is all about making money in the background. He ain't even lying. He's not even lying.
Fair
Do you know
play.
what I mean?
At least he's honest. Yeah.
Todd Bowley is there to make money as well, but he's giving you a proposition as well. He's giving you a value. He's saying, yes, I'm going to make money, but you know what, Matisse and Younes? I'm going to make sure you guys are well looked after.
Yeah.
You guys are well looked after. I'm going to make some money. You're going to be happy. Ricketts.
Everyone's a winner.
Ricketts, I'm going to make some money. Hey, screw you.
Kai Havertz sold for 90 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Thomas Tuchel sold for a lot of money. So,
I mean, what do we? I mean, obviously the press conference will be tomorrow for this game. What do? Yeah, I mean, what do we expect in terms of questioning? Are you guys? Because do you know what? Yeah, it's Tuchel from all of these press conferences and constant questions has come out looking absolutely incredible, and he didn't need all of this to look incredible because he was already speaking so well from a media standpoint from the moment he walked in the door. Do you remember the first few days, weeks that we were obviously covering them on this show, and we were watching his press? Everybody was just in awe of his press conferences and his interviews because we just haven't heard anybody speak with that much detail tactically, with that much just such a smooth talker, just perfect. And not in the Mourinho way, more in the way of just, he seemed to have the perfect answer for every single question. If you was to hand pick an answer, even in these tough times as well, when he's answering the questions on the ownership, every single answer he gives is just to a T, perfectly worded. And it's almost like he's robotic, but in a good way.
I think with a smile as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Mourinho done it in a case of, I'm about to end your career. And Tuchel does it with, you're going to agree with me.
It's mad.
It's a logical approach. It's a logical approach that he takes. He doesn't sugarcoat, and he doesn't, sort of make up things as well as he goes. He's actually saying in a way that you go, do you know what? That makes sense. That's logical. As Younes said, Mourinho was like, may not always sound logical. It's more like as you said, I'll end you. I'm about to end you right now. You're about to get cancelled.
And he did.
But I feel like push Tuchel enough, he will get to that level where he will. Because wasn't it just the last press conference, Matisse, where he said, where he snapped? Didn't he just snap? He snapped.
I think he snapped a couple of weeks ago, from what I remember.
He said, "Stop asking me these questions about ownership and sanctions and whatnot. Like, I don't have the answer to it. Stop poking me on it." And these journalists, they're not going to listen to, oh, you don't want us to poke you? Okay, we know exactly what to do now to poke you even more.
Honestly, I was starting to get frustrated because when I did see that press conference, I thought, he's getting angry now, and I feel like do you know what it is? I felt like their questions were just like layered, whereas they would ask the same question but said differently to try and get him to trip up and potentially say the wrong thing. But he is coming out of this so well. I don't know what questions are going to be asked because obviously we are coming close to the deadline. It is 10 days, just under 2 weeks until that deadline. It's going to be interesting to see because I know for a fact it's not all going to be based on what's happened on the pitch. It hasn't been since this all started. But in terms of, can we cast our minds back to, I guess, before international break with how we were feeling with certain players and the form of certain players? I'm guessing for this game we're going with Kai up top. We're not making any changes.
Nah, bro. Changes? What changes, bro? That's 2-pack, bro. Changes. Leave that for 2-pack, bro. Nah, man, no changes for me, man. Kai Havertz has to come back in. Timo Werner might as well just stay in Germany. I mean, it seems like,
we scored goals.
Germany creates a lot more chances. So. Stay there, bro.
He'll find some
Stay.
even if they're not playing.
Yeah, and he's what the funny thing is, he still misses. Like he comes up with all this fire talk after the Israel game, and he was pathetic. He was one of the worst players in that field, and he comes up with all that chest. Germany creates a lot of stuff for me. Do you know what I mean? Like
playing Israel as well. Let's be honest.
Exactly, playing Israel.
That's the equivalent of Harry Maguire doing this against San Marino.
Oh my
or
god!
Albania. I don't know what it was. Yeah.
So look, Havertz definitely has to come back in, and Christian Pulisic. I don't know. Yeah, he won't make it, will he, boys? Because he just finished earlier today.
Yeah.
Too
I
tight.
don't think he's going to make it.
Too tight. And he's played every game, and it's been a madness, and he's done well. So
perhaps it's going to be Havertz, Mount, and Ziyech, because Ziyech didn't go on international break.
Yeah.
So Ziyech should be there, and Reece. Words on Reece, is he back? Can we have that brother back?
We'll have to see for the press conference. I'm very excited to see Reece. I think people also forget how good of form Ziyech was on before the injury, right?
Yeah.
And he was obviously gone for a while, which is so frustrating because Ziyech, I said it from the beginning of the season, he continues to keep getting these niggling injuries whenever he picks up a bit of form. Happened last year, happened at the start of the season. Just he didn't get to play the first game, did he? Because he was out. He had a good preseason and he was out immediately. Keeps happening time and time again, but he was on good form before the injury. And yeah, I mean, Reece James, we saw just how crucial he is. Literally, the first day he was back, and and then he was gone again. It was almost like, here's a little sign of what you've been missing, and we're just going to just put that right back over there and continue to suffer. That was basically what that was from Reece James' cameo. It was like, here, if we had him and Chilwell all season, I'm not saying we would have won the league or anything, but we would have definitely been closer and we would have been in the race. And I think that's 100%. That's all we wanted at the start of the season, was to be in the race and to be competitive and to be involved. And to be honest, when I look at the points gap, it's not disrespectful anymore. Since we've gone on the run we've gone on, the points gap to the top isn't disrespectful by any means. We're currently 11 points behind Man City with a game in hand, and 10 points behind Liverpool with a game in hand. So if we was to win, we go 7 points behind Liverpool and 8 points behind Man City. So it's not disrespectful. If that was the points gap,
I was going to say, Younes, when's he going to say it? I was like, why hasn't Younes said anything yet?
Oh my God. But if we continue to keep putting these wins together and we can close that gap, again, I've ruled us out the title race in my head. So I'm not saying that. I'm saying if we could end the season with a gap point of 6 or 5, that would be a really good step forward from where we have been over the last couple of years. On top of winning 2 European one European and 1 global trophy, if we can get another trophy added onto that, being the FA Cup, God forbid a Champions League, then this season has been absolutely fucking incredible. But even with an FA Cup, if you walk out of the season with a Club World Cup, a Super Cup, and an FA Cup, that is a great season. Plus closing the gap, because for me, it's always been about points. It's never been about position. I said it when Manchester United finished second under Oli. It's not the same as finishing second with Klopp and Liverpool on 97 points. It's not the same. Yeah. So it's the same position, but it's not the same achievement. And if we can finish third, but we've managed to close the gap to something respectable, like a 5-6 points, then for me, of course, we weren't in the title race, I guess, because we were never actually in the key pivotal moment of April, really chasing it, but we were kind of just like capitalizing on any drop points, and then now we've just managed to get ourselves back into a comfortable position or a respectable position. But it will look a lot better that we have somewhat closed the gap. And it's not like, again, there's obviously other context to it. It's not like Man City win the title with, I don't know, 7 games to go, or 6 games to go, or 5 games to go, and then they start dropping off in the last few games, and then we close the gap and it looks respectable again, where they were already champions. This is a race between 2 teams in Man City and Liverpool who, neck and neck, the title won't be decided with 4-5 games to go, even 3 games to go probably. So if we do close the gap, we are technically in it, but we're not, in my opinion, in it, if you get it. But Younes, unless you want to throw a spanner in the works, is there hope?
You never know, you know. No. Look, realistically, no. Yeah, you'd like to say no. But
you don't believe it, do you?
He wants to dream.
I want to dream.
Just let it all
This
out.
is my what's the word? Well, I don't even know what the word is. You're just hoping for the best. Yeah, just hoping that, you know what, maybe you never know. You never know. I mean, this international break, I've had a lot of you never knows happen, right? And it's been horrible. So I'm hoping that maybe it all flips, and you never know. Maybe Chelsea come out of nowhere and win the league on the final day. But no, realistically, no. I'd say 99.5% no chance.
Do you know what this reminds me of? You know when Mourinho was calling us the little horse?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you know, the little horse, it needs nurturing, and it needs feeding, and it needs warmth, and maybe next year it can be one of the bigger horses. And I was just like, for fuck's sake, man. But you know what? He was spitting facts.
He was
spitting facts. We were in it, but we weren't really in it. Like we were always involved, but we were chasing, and we didn't have the capacity to overtake with Demba Ba, with Samuel Eto'o, with Fernando Torres. It just wasn't going to happen. And he knew that. Hence why he added Diego Costa to that. We didn't have that creativity in midfield. We had it with Hazard, but we didn't have it centrally. Hence why he added Fabregas that summer. So, and then from the first day away to Burnley, I knew we'd won the title. I was like, yep, that Fabregas pass to Schürrle, that Diego Costa goal on his first appearance for Chelsea. Yeah, we're winning the title. I know it. I can tell.
We stayed first from that day. We didn't drop into any position. We went first to first.
Yeah, literally.
Day 1 to day 38. So
yeah.
And he was like, now we are the big horse.
Now we are the big horse. Yeah. Now we are ready. We've been milked. We've been given milk. You don't milk a horse.
You do if you're Jose Mourinho. His horse is milk, bro.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I want to bring up all of this positivity in terms of potential closing the gap is because our fixtures are favourable. And I know that, like I said, the situation around the club is not easy to deal with. So it's maybe a good thing that the fixtures are favourable, because if they were difficult, then God help us. But the next game is obviously at home to Brentford. Now, they are in a relegation scrap. And I have been warning and obviously saying constantly we do need to be careful of these teams, but we have been dealing with them pretty well so far. And I do think Brentford are well accustomed or well readied to go down. So we should be beating them.
Christian Eriksen, right, Matthias?
They do indeed.
Nice. As well.
Ivan Toney's on very good form as well. So we have things to watch out for sure. But we are at home and we should be taking care of business.
Also, City and Liverpool have to play each other. They
do, exactly. So someone's dropping points there. So that
we in the title race?
That 7-8 points is definitely going to come down if we win all our games, of course. Southampton away.
4 points. Oh, no. Oh my God.
Don't do this.
I think we're
Southampton away on the 9th is the following fixture on the following Saturday. The Real Madrid games are either side of that. Then it's Leeds away, but that has been postponed, I'm guessing, for the FA Cup tie. It is definitely for that, the semi-final against Palace, so that'll have to get rearranged. But Leeds away again is another relegation team, but they've been leaking goals. Every big team has been slapping them up when they've played them, so again, an opportunity. Arsenal at home.
That's gonna be a big one.
Listen, big game. It's a big game to distance ourselves from them, and obviously not have them piping up about this whole third versus fourth thing. But again, it's
on 420 as well, just saying.
Yeah, it is, unless it gets rearranged or something. But that is the new date for it. Yeah. Then West Ham at home. Again, these are not easy teams, but they are at home. And I feel like as long as we've got our fans there, which I don't know what the situation will be with that. Again, I would still expect us to win these games. Not easy games, but they are at home. Everton away, they're in absolute turmoil. Again, another relegation-stricken team. With Lamps, yeah. By that point,
some Chelsea fans will probably want to lose to Lampard. Just saying, just to keep him up. Can we please lose to Lampard?
Please,
those are probably Ricketts.
Mendy, what are you doing? Saving that? What are you doing?
Oh God, Jesus! Can you imagine? Yeah, statement.
Rudiger, Rudiger, why are you tackling so well? Let him through, idiot.
Idiot. Oh man, I remember when Lampard first took charge of Everton, everyone was like, my second team's Everton now, and now suddenly they're being shit and they're performing way under everybody's expectations. I don't hear anybody supporting Everton anymore. They're like, Lampard, you can handle that. We're not gonna speak anymore. Just let us know when you fix that shit up. I'm not associating myself with such madness.
Matisse, why are people like this? Why are they like this? Why Everton's my second team now. Why?
Don't have an answer.
It's strange, bro. It's strange.
People. People.
Oh, man. They've got a tough fixture, by the way.
Everton are in mud. Yeah, big time. They're in Everton are in big trouble.
Yeah,
They're in massive trouble. But we will be playing them. So again, that's another.
That's why they're in big trouble.
Yeah, that's why they're in big trouble. And yeah, we have to. Obviously, we go into that favourites, but that is a very dangerous game. We don't have the best record at Goodison as well. I don't have the best memories from Goodison Park. But again, it's a team that defensively are leaking goals. They look a bit disorganised at the back. Similar to the way Leeds were under Bielsa. And Leeds, they were leaking goals. Now they got a new manager under Jesse Marsch. So for that away game, maybe things will be different. But those are two games away from home against... I'm more worried about dropping points actually away to Everton and Leeds than I am at home to Arsenal and West Ham. That's how I'm currently thinking, because I just know those two teams are going to be in scraps by the time we play them. And it's going to be, backs against the wall. But they're there. Wolves at home, team that are kind of just floating now. Job done. Should be able to pick up a win there. But again, it's not played on paper. It's played on the pitch. And then Man United away on the 15th of May. That is a big game at Old Trafford.
If we don't put them away, everyone's putting them away. Everyone.
But again, they could be fighting for their lives. Yeah. We, for some reason, do not put Manchester United away. We're the only team that don't do it. Everybody else has had no problem putting them away under Oli. Like the bigger teams, the best teams, but we struggle. Our record against Manchester United when they were under Oli was atrocious, and in it we lost to them in the FA Cup as well.
Yeah.
Rashford with a belter. But that is the second to last game away from home. They could be fighting for the top four, and you'd expect them to at least be in the hat with that game. So that's a massive game for them. That's another game I'll worry about. And
who knows? We might be in a title race by that point. So
yeah. Watford at home on the final day. I expect Watford to be relegated by then. So that's the fixtures. There's a lot there. I think it's quite evenly poised. For me, there's three really difficult ones from either the perspective of the other team's motivation or just the fact that Man United away from home, our record stinks, and then Leeds and Everton away as well. And I think the home games we should be taking care of. But again, it's not played on paper, it's played on the pitch. But Younes, maybe, you never know. You might be able to say we're in it, but I'm not going to say that right now. I'm not even going to jinx it. I prefer it when Chelsea are under the radar, underestimated, underrated. That's when we tend to perform. And also in the midst of chaos. Whereas when we actually expect something from them, then shit hits the fan. And remember, the only fixtures I've read out there are Premier League. If we do get past Real Madrid, there will be semi-finals sandwiched in there against Man City, most likely somewhere. And that makes things very difficult and spicy. If we're potentially in it, they will obviously be in it, and then the juggle between Champions League and Premier League begins. But like I said, I'm just trying to aim for a respectable gap to the top. If you want to dream, people dream.
I mean, at that point, Liverpool definitely be keeping an eye, because they'd be happy to have City and Chelsea going at it in a semi-final, whereas all three teams, technically two, but we're in there about just in the distance in terms of the league. Like, it's a very, very interesting dynamic. See who's going to come out on top in both competitions. Plus, there's the FA Cup to think about as well. All three of us are in the FA Cup, aren't we?
I don't know if Atletico Madrid is going to be a walkover for City. I really don't think so. It's a perfect game for Atletico. It's a perfect one. They don't want the ball. City won the ball.
That's true, they don't, yeah.
They're going to be like, you have the ball. You're not taking the ball from us. You can have it. We're giving it to you. But you sleep for even 1 second, we will get you. And I back Atletico with their counter with João Felix, Lodi, Griezmann, whoever else they got up front, to snatch it and then defend well and frustrate City. So, yeah, I wouldn't say that it's Diego Simeone. He's built for this. He built a resume doing these sort of stuff. Do you know what I mean? He's looking forward to this match against Pep Guardiola. So
I think they're better suited. against City than they would be against us, for sure.
100%.
For sure.
100%. Because we also don't like to, we like to hold the ball. We are possession based, what we're trying to be. We're not
Sometimes we don't have
cutthroat
to.
as City. We're
Yeah.
not cutthroat as City. So then they fall into this false hope where, oh, do we need to play football now? Because
Exactly.
we're not used to this. What do we do here? Whereas City will make it very simple. The game plan is simple. You will handle 15% of the possession, whereas City will have 85%. And with that 15%, you will get 1-0 victory. That's what you're going to get. Perfect for them. Perfect. So,
Well, listen, whatever happens in this game, and obviously going forward for the rest of the season, I can promise you it's not going to be quiet. It's not going to be boring. And I slightly wish that a documentary was done on us. I mean, I know Arsenal are getting theirs on this Amazon thing, but I'm not really excited about theirs anymore. It's looking pretty boring. If they do make top four, I'm not really.
Yeah.
Yes, there was the Aubameyang thing, and I don't know what else took place. I can't really remember, to be honest.
The start of the season was chaotic. So, like,
Yeah.
if it's a 10-part series, the first 3 episodes are going to be gold, and then it's going to go to crap.
Yeah, 100%. Do you know? It's obviously they always pick the big club for that, but from watching, one thing I watched from Drive to Survive with the F1 is when they covered Haas, which is one of the shittest teams on the grid from last year. If you cover a Norwich or a Watford,
it's wild. It's wild.
Oh my days. Them losing week in, week out, it would be brilliant. Like, honestly, the drama behind the behind the scenes would be mad. It would be absolutely mad. Like, it would be so worth the watch, honestly. So
that's why the Sunderland one was really good to watch.
Yeah,
it was. Sunderland
yeah.
was mad. Sunderland was mad. Yeah. I think they had 2 of them, didn't they? They had Sunderland till and then did they have another second one?
No. But they had a different series. They did extend, so they didn't have just one series. They did have, I think they had 2 series.
Yeah.
2 seasons. Yeah.
And they missed out. I think the second series was about they missed out on promotion.
Promotion, yeah, exactly.
First one was they got relegated. Second one they missed out on promotion. So it was mad. It was mad.
Yeah.
Leeds one was good as well. I'm not sure if you've seen that.
I've seen the Leeds one.
That was really good as well. That was good.
That was just good insight, generally.
Yeah.
It wasn't chaos. It was just good insight. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was good.
It's a madness. So yeah, that's the situation, man. I mean, listen, I'm not going to make this episode too long today because I'm recovering from this and I've tried to shorten down all my content. And it's been exhausting last 24 hours with all of this protest stuff, etc. But yeah, what a couple of months we have to look forward to covering this club. Miz, it's going to be fun covering it with you here, man. And obviously let the people know where to find you. I know you're putting in some serious graft on that channel right now.
Yeah, man. Look, ladies and gentlemen, the other side of the coin, subscribe. We hit 11,000. I think we're getting close to 11,100 now. Generally 2 uploads, 1 in the morning, UK time, 1 in the evening. Pretty much trying to cover the cycle of all the news that's gone around. And every now and then I'll have my flavors of Miz reacts on different little situations, the truth bombs, where I really want to get fiery and feisty about a certain scenario or situation. So do look out for that. Obviously, watch-alongs will come along now with a whole heap of matches. And I want to cover many other matches, not just in the Premier League, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga as well. Might start covering some Bayern Munich games. So, yeah, hopefully it'll be a home for plethora of knowledge down the track. So, yeah, do look out for that.
Yeah. And Younes, please let them know where to find you, bro. Pleasure as always on this.
Absolutely, man. Younes Talks Football here as well. It's going to be a weird weekend, I think, because obviously there's a video coming out today outlining exactly about the protests and the whole thing behind it. Tomorrow, match preview for Chelsea Brentford. Normally, I'd be doing the watch along. I'm probably going to be at the protest, though, so I don't think that watch along is going to happen on the Brentford day. But a match review afterwards, because I will keep up to date with what's happening at the game. I will watch the game, not in person, but I will watch the game. And after that, it's Real Madrid. So, yeah, keeping up to date with what's going on at the club, other football news, and Chelsea playing, and then going into the Champions League is pretty much all I have going at the moment.
There you go, guys. Make sure you're tuning in. Make sure you subscribe. The links are going to be in the description as always. Listen, for me, smash up the likes. Obviously, thank you to everybody watching the show, and leave the comments on what you think on anything discussed in the show as well, of course, as always. And in terms of more content, I'll be live with Flawless at 10 p.m. on Twitch. I think that's it for me in terms of content today. I'm trying to scale it back a little bit. Obviously, Friday, the preview will come after the press conference. We'll start looking at really anything Brentford related, because obviously we do need to watch them. Like Miss was saying, Eriksen is obviously racking up some assists. Ivan Toney's been scoring some goals. Their form has changed a little bit in recent games as they try and fight for survival. And obviously we'll be still speaking about the protests as well, and more things coming out on that as well. So with all that said, big up your damn selves. Appreciate as always. And yeah, in a bit, people. Peace.